Hi, I'm Kelly Suding with the PATINS Project. Welcome to our two-day PATINS State Conference.
Here with Dan Herlihy on day 2 of the PATINS State Conference 2014. So Dan's doing 3 sessions for us, one yesterday and 2 today. And the one yesterday was on adapting curriculum
materials for deaf and hard of hearing. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so tell us about that one, then I'll ask you about the other 2.
Actually, it really kind of reached more of a broad base because we took a look at some of the traditional stuff, like what if I have a completely deaf student who signs, and I want to adapt my materials. How can I add video, maybe captioning to video tracks I'm using, some symbol support, picture support to my curriculum materials. And then we took a look at, let's take a look at a student all up and down the needs spectrum, so to speak. Like, he may be deaf, but he may also have reading disability and all these kind of things. And then we, people like, oh God, I need that for a lot of my kids in the classroom. We started talking about a little bit about UDL, and yeah, see what happens. You just kind of create some really good content, and you really reach a wider range of your audience.
Yeah, so you're not just creating for a student who might be
right,
deaf.
Right. And then all the different apps, that are out there that you could use. Some of the quick on the fly, even some things that you wouldn't necessarily think of. An example is the SmartPen 3. You're writing on a pad, it's broadcasting to your iPad, and I'm going to give you the iPad. I'm going to just sit and write, and now you can see everything I'm writing, so I don't have to, kind of scribble notes to you, and it's like, oh yeah, duh, because you look at what the technology is doing, and you could be sitting at your desk, and I can write it on it, and you see what I'm doing because you can't hear me.
Right, cool.
Type of thing, so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So that was yesterday. Two sessions today, another session on captioning sorts of things, and then
Chromebooks.
Chromebooks.
Yep. The Chromebook will be an interesting one because it's not just like how do I turn it on, it's kind of all the things you can do with your Chromebook, and I'm really getting into what do you want to do to set up your environment before you get started with it. Because you buy it, kids log in, get an account, and you're looking for apps and stuff. Well, what are the needs of the student? Right. And so here's how we set up accessibility first before the student starts going in. Text-to-speech programs, how can I customize even simple things like the size of the cursor? It's like, where the heck's the cursor there? Well, you can make it big. Really? Look at this. Now I can see. And then the 2 sides of it, because there's extensions and apps.
Right.
And I downloaded an extension. Where did it go? It's not in my menu. Well, let's go take a look at where they are. And then you download a gazillion of them. How come my Chromebook's taking so long to how do we get in and adjust that? And then the apps that are out there. I need text-to-speech apps. I need this. And even extensions and apps to run peripheral devices. Like I've got a document camera that I used to use on my computer. How do I use it now on the Chromebook? How about switch access? Right. My students got a physical disability. What can I plug in and what can I do? So, not just traditional, but really, setting up that accessible environment.
Okay, so that's the first one today.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And who would you say would be the most appropriate audience for that? Teachers? Definitely.
Definitely teachers. Sometimes it's really becomes everybody, because even sometimes a tech person who is focused more on, I've got the Chromebooks, we've got our card, I know how to sync things. If kind of forget about the needs, can I set up an image that really, puts some of those general things on everybody's device, so the teachers don't have to pick and choose and kind of work at fine detail. And it's also that awareness of, oh, I didn't realize there's a lot of stuff out there, and what are they going to be doing with it? And even simple things like ebook readers, all that kind of stuff.
And from that perspective, maybe also important for administration to attend to not maybe have that hands-on ground level implementation, but an awareness of.
Yeah, it's getting that big picture of the needs of the teachers and right down to the needs of the student. Kind of like, oh, I see. This is what we used to do. We kind of forgot about that because we're going to Chromebooks thinking it's still a computer, but it's really a little different animal. And how do we do the same thing we were doing before on a Chromebook? Which it's like, okay, I started here, now I'm building back up again.
Right. So then your third session, your second session today, this afternoon on captioning.
Captioning, yep. Intro to captioning video. We're not getting into the heavy-duty studio, where I've got, banks of monitors and all that kind of stuff.
Which schools don't have, so they need something.
And I need something, and I want to start at the bottom. What can I do for free? Awesome. What can I do inexpensively? And then the gamut up to really inexpensive to begin with. and how easy it is. You know, and not just captioning for someone who's deaf, but why would I do captioning in the first place?
Right.
It's like, because how about captioning in a second language? It's like, oh, you know, there's ESL right there, you know. It's like, oh, are we watching a foreign movie with subtitles? You know, and so, and how we could do it on the fly. How can we, let's caption some video and then dump them into ebooks. And then let's caption video and do all these other things with it. You know, moving into the other environment. So it really is for the beginner. It really is, oh, look, I can do that. That doesn't look too hard. And here's like a half dozen solutions. What do you have? A Mac, PC, no money, we got a little money. I can start here and play with it and see what it's like. And then if we can get some money and do this, then it's easy street. So
Sounds awesome.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here, Dan, and those will be great sessions today. And if you need anything, let us know.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Have a good morning.